Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my flawless foundation routine. I've had a lot of requests from my subscribers to do a video on my flawless foundation routine. In my makeup tutorials I do go quite fast through the whole foundation process because I do find it can be quite boring for my viewers. I'm uploading my flawless foundation routine today for those of you who wanted to see an in-depth tutorial and description on how I achieve my flawless base. If you guys want to see a step-by-step in-depth tutorial on how I achieve my flawless foundation base, then just keep on watching. So the first step to achieve a really flawless finish in your foundation is definitely by starting off with a very clean, fresh face. You aren't going to get a flawless foundation finish if you are applying makeup on top of makeup that you were wearing last night. You definitely want to start off with a fresh face. I definitely recommend you wash your face before you apply your foundation because it definitely does make a difference. Because I find my skin doesn't break out too much, I don't need any really strong acne clearing face washes, so I just use a simple one by Clearasil that I get just from my local supermarket, and I find it does the job perfectly. It keeps my face fresh and clean. So just to give my face an extra clean before I do apply my makeup, I like to put a bit of this Garnier cleansing water on a cotton pad. I just take a little bit on a cotton pad and I just rub it all over my face just to get excess makeup, excess dirt off my face. I love this stuff. I find it definitely does take off my makeup really well. So even there, as you can see, there is some dirt on that cotton pad, so this step is definitely necessary. If you do want a flawless finish, it is important to get all excess makeup off your face. Another skincare product that I've been absolutely loving lately to include in my foundation routine is the MAC Marine Bright Formula Softening Lotion. So it's sort of like a skincare product by MAC, and you just apply it to your skin and it makes your skin so soft and smooth. It's quite an oily consistency, but it doesn't leave your skin oily. It's an amazing product and it definitely does soften your skin. So I just take a little bit of this and I just apply it to a clean cotton pad, and I just rub this on my face as well. I find this has quite a strong smell of, I guess, alcohol, you could say. It has a very strong smell. Also, if you do have quite uneven skin tone, I won't do this every day, but maybe 2 to 3 times a week I will apply a face mask to exfoliate my skin and get rid of any dead skin cells and any bumps or unevenness that are on my skin. The particular mask that I like to use for this is the Glam Glow Super Mud Clearing Treatment. I haven't found a face mask that does the job as well as this one does, and I'm absolutely in love with this mask. You would have heard me talk about it in my favourites video. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this, and I use it every time I have to exfoliate my face or I have some particular blemishes that I want to get rid of. I will also use this as a spot treatment, so yeah, I definitely recommend it if you guys are looking for a face mask. So after that softening lotion has sunken into my face, I am then moving on to primer. It is so important to have your hair out of your face when you are applying foundation or even just doing your makeup in general. So for primer, I have been loving this Skindinavia the Makeup Primer Spray. This is the first spray primer I have come across and it's absolutely amazing. I got the oil control one as my skin is quite oily. I love to apply this before I actually apply my cream primers. It just works amazingly. I spray a forgiving amount on my face and then I just let that sit as well. I love the smell of this stuff and it just leaves my skin feeling so fresh and clean. So after that priming spray has all settled into my skin, I then move on to a cream primer, flawless foundation base. I will definitely lean towards one of these two primers. The first one is the Stila One Step Correct, as I do, as you can see, have quite a lot of redness both around my nose and in this area of my face. I do love this primer because it is a correcting primer, and the green colour inside it does counteract the redness and get rid of it a lot. And it also brightens my face, which I love. And the other primer that I will lean towards if I want a flawless base is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I absolutely love this stuff. It is super pricey, but definitely worth the money if you are looking for a very good primer. It is great if you have oily skin because it is oil free, and it definitely does hold in your oils throughout the day. And I just love this primer so much. Because I do have a lot of redness today, I am just going to stick with the Stila One Step Correct today. So I just like to take a few pumps of this on my fingers. I take about that much on my fingers, and I just rub it between my fingers and just put it straight on my face and blend it in. It's also super important if you're working with your fingers that they are clean, as you don't want any bacteria getting onto your skin from your hands. I like to apply this all over my face, so I also put it on my eyelids and under my eyes and down my neck also. I am super pale at the moment, so I think I will find it very hard to find a foundation that will match me perfectly, but we will try. So after I've applied that Stila primer, I'm then going in with my Benefits Professional pores around my T-zone, mainly focusing in my nose area and over here. So I definitely love this product. You guys would have seen me use it in literally every single one of my videos because I can't go without using it. So I just take about a pea-sized amount of this, and I literally just dot it on my face and where in the places which I have quite large pores, and I like to really push this into the skin so it does get into my pores, not just sit on top of them. I really like the product to get into my pores and fill them in so they don't start to show through when I apply my foundation. So it's super important you let this primer sit for a while. If you just went and applied your foundation and concealer straight onto your primer after you've applied it, it will build up layer upon layer and eventually make your foundation look very cakey, which is definitely not something you want if you're going for a flawless finish. Another primer I will apply to my face if I want a really dewy finish is the MAC Strobe Cream. I absolutely love that stuff. You can even mix it in with your foundation and it just gives you a beautiful dewy shiny look. Personally, I don't like matte finish foundations. I think I've mentioned this in previous videos. I am all for a luminous, shiny, dewy finish, and yeah, so I prefer dewy, luminous foundations over the matte finish foundations, as I feel it does give you a way more flawless finish and just so much more texture to your face. If I am going for a real full coverage flawless finish, not anything natural, I will apply concealer to my blemishes before I apply my foundation. I usually don't do this, but if I'm after a really flawless finish, I will use a cream concealer before I apply my foundation, and the one that I do use is the Pro Conceal Incorrect palette in light, and I like to take this shade here, a cream colour, and I apply it on any blemishes that I have. So for example, I have one right here today, really in a really inconvenient spot, but that's alright, we'll deal with that. So I just really like to buff that concealer in with this. I love this concealer. I find it really does get rid of blemishes, and I just apply it on any other ones that I have that I just don't want to. I'll then move on to the main step of this look, which is the actual foundation part. think I've mentioned this also in one of my previous videos, my two favourite foundations, the NARS Sheer Glow, which I use in the shade Doval, and also my Estee Lauder Double Wear, which I wear in the shade 3-in-1 Ivory Beige. These foundations are super long wearing on myself. This is the main reason why I love them. They are both quite sheer, but you can build them. So if you want to wear them sheer, you can, but they are definitely buildable, which I love. I'm always wanting to try out new foundations, so let me know in the comments below what your favourite foundations are. There are two ways in which I apply my foundation to get a flawless finish, and that is either with a flat top kabuki brush. This one is by Sigma and it is the F80 brush, or I either use a beauty blender. If you have been watching my videos lately, you would know that I do love beauty blenders, and it is what I have been applying my foundation with in most of my videos, so I do love beauty blenders. But I find if I want a flawless finish with more coverage, to use the kabuki brush. What I do is just use one of these palettes and I just apply the foundation to this and just work with it from there. I definitely recommend one of these if you don't have a pump or you don't like using the back of your hand. So what I do is I just put some of the foundation onto this palette and then just work with it from there. As you guys can probably see, that shade is quite dark for me, so I am going to take a bit of my NARS Sheer Glow. So I'll just evenly distribute the product onto my kabuki brush and then just go and dab it all over my face. So I like to dab the foundation over my face first. I don't like to use my fingers when I apply my foundation, as I do find it doesn't give me a well enough coverage, whereas when I use tools it does. So what I do first is I just press the foundation into my skin and then I go in and buff it out. Instead of just doing motions like this, this is going to mean your foundation is going to sit on top of your skin and not actually sink into your skin. I find that a lot of people are scared of buffing the foundation into their skin, but I definitely have to stress this point that you want to apply a little bit, not a huge amount that you hurt yourself, but quite a bit of pressure onto your face just so that foundation literally sinks into your skin. Another point I have for you guys when you're doing your foundation is to make sure that you blend up into your hairline. You do not want to have one of those halo lines around your face where you can see your hairline, but just pushing the foundation. You don't need to take more product because it will get into your hair. You just want to buff up what product is already there just so it kind of blends into your scalp. You also want to make sure that you blend the foundation down onto your neck. You do not want to get one of those foundation lines along your jawline. It is the most unattractive thing, and if it can be avoided, you should definitely avoid it. So if you found that your face did look a bit cakey after you applied the foundation, I definitely recommend taking a damp beauty blender and just patting over that foundation. It will thin it out and it will make it look a lot less thick and way more sheer. If you haven't bought a foundation or you're not familiar with what actual shade you are, I definitely recommend going into a store and getting colour matched for your foundation, and also making sure you match it to your neck, not your face tone. You want to match your foundation to your neck and chest colour, not your face colour, if that makes sense. Another point I also have to say is when choosing a foundation, don't follow trends. No matter what kind of foundation it is, I definitely recommend getting one to suit your skin type, not just one that everybody else is buying. It's also important, if you are going to buy a foundation, Definitely get a tester and have a few tries of the foundation before you go and spend a lot of money on the foundation itself. And I also recommend to get a foundation to match your skin type. So for example, if your skin is oily, or if your skin is combination or dry, then you definitely want to get a foundation to cater for your needs. Moving on to concealer, I have two holy grail concealers that I will use under my eyes and just in any places I want to highlight. I like to use a lighter concealer than my actual foundation base, as it does give some dimension to my face and add light parts where I want it to be highlighted. So I do use a lighter shade concealer than my foundation. The two concealers that I have been loving at the moment is the MAC Pro Longwear, as you guys will all know. I use it in the shade NC20. If I am very pale, I will use it in the shade NC15. I also just followed the trend and wanted to try the LA Girl Pro Conceal. It is so cheap and affordable that it is worth a try. So I picked it up in a few shades, and the shade that I have been loving is Creamy Beige. So today I'm just going to be using the LA Pro Conceal just for something different, and it does highlight my face really well. I love the applicator on this LA Girl Pro Conceal because it is a brush, meaning you don't have to get your fingers dirty applying it to your face, and you don't need to dirty another brush because it's already got a brush on there and it just applies straight to your face. So I use the flat side and I just put a little bit through. I push a little bit through the brush and I just apply this down the center of my nose, on my cupid's bow. I take it on my chin. Because I do use a lighter concealer, I do like to use this as a highlight as well while concealing. So I do apply it in a triangle shape like so, as this is the shape that will give you the most dimension, and I also apply a bit on my forehead. I used to blend in my under eye concealer with my fingers, but I found it definitely did make it a lot cakier, and because I do have quite a few crease lines under my eyes, I do like to use a damp beauty blender, as it does make the finish a lot more sheer and just not as cakey. So all I do is I use tapping motions like this, and it just blends out the highlighter perfectly, as you can see. If you haven't watched my previous videos, then I will explain what I do to set my under eye area now. I take this MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light Plus, and I like to take my damp, this sounds very weird, but I like to take my damp beauty blender and set my under eye area using that. So what I do is I just rub the beauty blender onto the powder and pick up a generous amount of the powder, and I just literally pat it onto my skin. Don't rub, you just pat this under the under eye area, and what this does is prevent creasing. If you do suffer from creasing under your under eye area when you do apply cream products under there, definitely try this step and let me know if it worked for you as well. I have been suffering from like under eye creasing for so long, and when Nikki Tutorials came out with this video explaining how to prevent creasing, I had to try it, and when I did, it works wonders. To set the rest of my face, you guys would know that I love to use my MAC Studio Fix. This gives me a tiny bit of extra coverage and it just finishes my skin and makes it look flawless. So I like to use this, and I like to take this on a large powder brush by Sigma, which is the F20, and I only pick up a little amount of product, and all I do is just push it into the skin. Because only our under eye is set at the moment, we don't want to go straight in with this powder and just rub our face, because it will move and disturb the foundation that is sitting underneath. So what you want to do is just pat the foundation into the skin first. So just use patting motions like so, just to set that foundation. It will make sure it doesn't move from the place where it is. After you've patted that powder into your face, feel free to then go in and buff it out, but just while you are setting that foundation, you just want to pat and push it into your skin. I like to take my Rimmel Stay Matte powder, and I just take it in the shade Translucent, and I just pick up a little bit of this and I like to apply it in my T-zone. I absolutely love this powder. If you have oily skin yourself and you are on a budget, invest in this powder. I'm telling you, it will hold in your oils. It's absolutely amazing. So I just pat this into my T-zone and it just works wonders for me. Because this video is going to be super long already, I'm not going to include my bronzer, highlighter and blush in this video, as it was just the Flawless foundation routine. If you guys would like to see a highlight and contour video though, please let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely make sure I do that for you guys. I'm just going to go straight ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be back. So I've now applied the rest of my face makeup, my eye makeup, my lips and the contour and highlighting of my face, and this is what the finished look looks like. This is what the skin looks like after all the rest of the makeup has been applied. I'm absolutely in love with it. It is definitely my go-to Flawless foundation routine, and I hope you guys did learn some tips and tricks or some products you yourself want to use. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It really does mean a lot to me. Please leave any future video requests in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you aren't already. Have a great day guys, bye!